An unimaginable tragedy in Texas.
Hearing the screams, because you couldn't see anything, it was pitch black. Kids screaming, asking for help.
Historic flooding taking too many lives, destroying families and communities.
It's like mass destruction. It's like a third world war zone.
It's a horrible thing that took place. Absolutely horrible.
The Hill Country just starting to process its grief. The nonstop search for the missing continues.
You know, I've got 2 babies at home, and there's people out there that they're missing their children or their family members, so I feel like it's the least I could do to help.
As recovery efforts begin.
As I've said every time I've been before you, please pray for our community.
Tonight, people across the world have Texas on their minds. Statewide, the death toll from flash flooding stands at 78. Dozens more are missing tonight. Families have shared photos of victims who've died, those who haven't yet been found, and those who survived. It includes Eloise Peck and Lila Bonner. They were best friends from Dallas, summer campers at Camp Mystic after just finishing the 2nd grade, both lost in the flood. The director of that camp, Dick Eastland, also died. He was trying to save campers, according to the Kerrville Daily Times. He was a father of 4. These are just some of the stories we will share tonight and in the coming days. The most devastating loss is in Kerr County. 68 people died there, 40 adults, 28 kids. We have gut-wrenching new pictures from after the water receded at Camp Mystic. That is that Christian summer camp for girls. It's right on the banks of the Guadalupe River. Bunks are scattered. There is mud all over the floors and the walls. 10 campers and 1 counselor are still missing tonight. Today, some returned to the camp. An Associated Press photographer was there as a young girl sobbed over what she saw. Aside from what happened in Kerr County Friday, 10 people died closer to Austin. In Travis, Burnett, Kendall, Tom Green, and Williamson counties, people were swept away by flash flooding on Saturday. Tonight, we have live team coverage from the hard questions about alerts and evacuations to the many lives lost. Our Chris Lawrence is leading our coverage from Kerrville. Chris, you arrived this evening. What did you feel when you caught your first glimpse?
Teresa, I think the first thing was that when it comes to these rivers, you can't take anything for granted, and that what may be true at any given moment may not stand. I want to give you a look behind me. You can see that tractor, overturned tractor there in the water behind me. We've also seen some flashes of light further out, which our search and rescue teams on the other side of the Guadalupe River. I did just speak with 2 state troopers who have been guarding some of the access points to get down here. They told me this section is higher than it was just a few hours ago, and they're monitoring it now as a precaution. I also want you to take a look at this. We did just get some new video from ABC News showing the Coast Guard conducting their search and rescue operations today. You know, they have been in the water and flying over the scene trying to locate any survivors. Now, these crews have access not only to thermal but night vision cameras, which not only allows them to identify any possible movement from the air, it also allows them to work around the clock.
Of course, we're a lot more productive during the day, but we search at night, and we're seeing some really good results, which is good. But the bad news is you will see the death toll rise today and tomorrow.
Look, we know some families are praying for the best, that a loved one will still be found alive. And at the same time, based on the number of bodies that were recovered or identified today, on one level, we are bracing for the worst. As the search continues, there are mounting questions over what, if anything, might have given residents or campers more warning. And right now, officials are trying to determine if there was a gap in communication, and if so, where.
There can be all kinds of alert systems that are sent, and we know that some were sent, some general messaging was sent early, some urgent warnings were sent at various times, but just sending the message is not the same as receiving the message, having a plan to do something when you receive the message, and then the ability to implement that plan.
Yeah, obviously that's a thread we will continue to follow up on in the days to come. You know, speaking of, just to get some context on what's happening here, my colleague Jobin Puneker has been here for the past few days. You've been reporting on the scene. Give us a sense of what changed today.
So we used to have access along Guadalupe River, Highway 39. Now it is controlled entry. So only residents, only first responders. I think what they were realizing is that it was taking first responders way too long to actually get to these emergencies. And that's the sad reality of these things, because this is still an active search and rescue, and it is a fluid situation.
3 days in, and the search is frantic for survivors. But with every hour that passes, hope drains.
It was just a...
The historic flood of the Guadalupe River has swallowed up these small towns.
It's like mass destruction. It's like a third world war zone.
The death toll rises while the water recedes. In Kerr County, 68 people are confirmed dead, 28 are children.
This is what the water can do.
A horse from one of the camps washed up on Casey's property. Today, he's doing what he never wishes he had to.
Looking for any signs of people, honestly. Still searching. It has been a long week.
We are both restless and exhausted.
Sunday service looked different at First Presbyterian in Kerrville.
It'll be a hard day.
I know, it's been really hard on you all.
Lots of hugs to go around.
A couple days.
Lots of hugs.
People are searching for hope, for community, for tangible love.
Jane Ragsdale attended here, a well-known, well-loved camp director for Heart of the Hills.
So she was someone who loved dearly, who really cared about this church.
Today's sermon is the reminder to do good.
Our hearts ache because we love.
It is tough sharing the good news.
Rescue helicopter. It's been constant.
When everything around you looks so bad.
This is our family history. My husband grew up here, I grew up here, my kids grew up here, his family grew up here, so it's very special.
4 generations of the Jacobs have lived here. Nika is searching for what little she can salvage. Depending on who you ask in this tragedy, there is too little time and also far too much.
This is our hope. This is our faith. And because of this place, we'll keep moving forward.
I mean, just such powerful feelings in that piece, Joe. But now that you've been here several days, what sense are you getting from people in the community here about where they are emotionally, spiritually right now?
It started off with people feeling numb in the first couple days, and now I think they're feeling overwhelmed. You have to understand, it is sensory overload. You have the DPS chopper still up in the air circling Guadalupe River. You have the dive team still in the water. You have search crews up along the ridge lines, up along Guadalupe River.
Yeah,
and
we're seeing the lights pop up every now and then.
Yeah. It is still an active scene. Yeah. So with all those things happening, overwhelmed is the operative word here.
Okay. All right. Well, it's certainly understandable. Well, you've done a great job, and you've handled this with a lot of, I think, tenderness and compassion, which is certainly what these folks need right now.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, Jobin. Also, I just want to call your attention to the fact that this tragedy has really touched every corner of Texas. It was just tonight during a prayer service tonight in Dallas that St. Michael and All Angels Episcopal Church confirmed that Lila Bonner was confirmed dead in this tragic flood. For a little bit more on that sense, and as we learn a little bit more about the victims, I want to send it to my colleague, Kevin Reese.
Brooke and Blair Harbor were students at St. Rita's Catholic Church in Dallas. They were in a cabin with their grandparents, who are still missing. St. Rita's wrote to us saying that Blair and Brooke were young women of deep faith, and in a GoFundMe post their family writes, they had their rosaries with them. Their bodies were found 15 miles away in Kerrville. When they were found, their hands were locked together. Only their parents survived the flood. The Fort Worth Diocese and the family of Hadley Hannah say the 8-year-old is still among the missing from Camp Mystic. 8-year-olds Eloise Peck and Lila Bonner, who just finished the 2nd grade at Bradfield Elementary, best friends, confirmed among the victims. At the school Sunday, a crowd gathered to tie ribbons around trees for the missing and the dead. Highland Park ISD telling us that our hearts are heavy. We are deeply saddened to report the loss of multiple students, and our thoughts and prayers are with all of the families deeply affected by this unimaginable tragedy. Green ribbons are now being tied statewide for the victims of Camp Mystic. And the family of 9-year-old Janie Hunt of Dallas confirms her passing too, reportedly attending Camp Mystic with several cousins of the Hunt family of Dallas. Tavia Hunt, the wife of Kansas City Chiefs owner Clark Hunt, writing on social media that our hearts are broken by the devastation from the floods and the tragic loss of so many lives, including a precious Hunt cousin, along with several friends' little girls. And also wrote that even in heartbreak, God is weaving a story we cannot yet see.
You couldn't see anything, it was pitch black. But hearing people screams, kids screaming, asking for help.
He's not a hero, and that will never gone unnoticed.
This family says their hero is 27-year-old Julian Ryan, who broke open a window in their flooded home to save his family. They survived, he did not. The shattered glass cut him so deeply, he could not be saved in time. The search to find any more to save goes on. I'm Kevin Reese.
You know, you can count on us to be here around the clock to bring you the very latest on the search for these victims, also to look into these questions about the early warning system and if anything else could have been done in that regard. But I do just want to call your attention to one thing, and that is these search and rescue teams that are still out here trying to find any survivors and or just give families a measure of closure and give you an idea of some of the conditions that they are working in right now. Some of the teams are working like the Coast Guard throughout the night. They are literally digging through the mud. They are in the water where there are snakes, there are water moccasins. This is hard, dirty work, and it is meticulous work. They've got to, tear through some of these vines and tangled debris to try to get to every section of this river, trying to give even more families the closure that they desperately need. So those are the kind of stories that we'll be telling you more over the next couple days. But for now, reporting live in Kerrville, I'm Chris Lawrence. Teresa, I'll send it back to you.
Absolutely so important to remember all of those first responders who are working around the clock to try to bring these families some answers. Chris, thank you for your live coverage tonight. We appreciate it. We do know that there is critical support work going on in North Texas as well. There are bodies that have been recovered but not yet positively identified. The Texas Department of Public Safety says it is flying DNA samples to the University of North Texas Health Science Center. They have a lab that can do a quick identification process, so results can take hours instead of days. Also tonight, we know President Donald Trump is planning a trip to Texas on Friday. Today, he signed an emergency declaration for Kerr County. He says he will work closely with state leaders to make sure that any resource they need is immediately available. So many people have asked, how is it possible that a river rose so high so fast? Well, take a look at this stunning video. This is a sped up time lapse. You can actually see people on the far side of your screen moving higher and higher as the river is coming up. This all happened within 30 minutes. Now, this is the Llano River in the Hill Country, but it is a very good example, Jesse, of just how quickly things can change.